Hello and welcome to Newsweek South Asia, a program that exposes Pakistan's role and nexus in promoting global terrorism and its funding. Here are the headlines. India hopes Pakistan under Imran Khan will work to make South Asia terror-free. National Investigation Agency arrests Hizbul Mujahideen chief Salahuddin's son in foreign funding case. Indian security forces foil plans of Pakistan-backed terrorists. Islamic State Khorasan leader killed in US airstrike in Afghanistan. And Jaish-e-Mohammad planning seaborne attack of its own. With the Imran Khan-led Pakistan government being sworn into power, the Indian administration is hoping a new Pakistan would come into being that could end terrorism from South Asia. Newsweek South Asia has a report.
Cricketer turned politician Imran Khan was sworn in as the Prime Minister of what he calls the new Pakistan recently. The Imran Khan government had promised of finishing off terrorism from the entire South Asian region, but Khan is yet to walk the talk when it comes to taking action against terror outfits which are being funded and trained by Pakistan Intelligence Agency, ISI and the Pakistani Army. Recently, India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Syed Akbaruddin, hoped that the newly formed Pakistan government would indeed work against terror to make the region safe.
That the new government of Pakistan will, rather than indulge in polemics, work constructively to build a safe, stable, secure and developed South Asian region free of terror and violence.
Syed Akbaruddin's statement came during the UNSC debate on mediation and settlement of disputes. Pakistani Ambassador Maliha Lodhi wrecked up the Kashmir issue during the debate, drawing a sharp reaction from Akbaruddin, who said Pakistan is regurgitating a failed approach which has long been rejected, is neither reflective of Pacific intent nor a display of Pacific content.
It is in line with this approach that let me take this opportunity to remind Pakistan, the one isolated delegation that made unwarranted references to an integral part of India, Pacific settlement requires Pacific intent in thinking and Pacific content in action. Regurgitating a failed approach which has long been rejected by the international community is neither reflective of Pacific intent nor a display of Pacific content.
Akbaruddin pointed out that the United Nations and in particular the Security Council doesn't come to mediation unencumbered. The problems of the United Nations apparatus as a mediator are ingrained in the nature of intergovernmental organizations.
If we have to remove poverty from the South Asian region, which has got highest density of population of poor and deprived in the whole of the world. World's 80% of hungry are here. So we should concentrate on removing poverty rather than indulging in terror and violence. We need to cooperate, all of us need to cooperate with one another to stamp out poverty. That should be the top priority of these nations, which are saddled with very high percentage of the poor and deprived.
Further policy making within an international organization adds another layer of bargaining and trade-offs, he said, adding that it requires a time-consuming and uncertain process of consultation and coordination among a multiplicity of actors.
The National Investigation Agency has arrested Hizbul Mujahideen's chief Syed Salahuddin's son. Newsweek South Asia has a report.
Syed Shakil Ahmad, the second son of terrorist Syed Salahuddin, was arrested from Rambagh area and his residence was raided in the early hours on August 30th. The NIA has been investigating the alleged foreign fundings to separatist and terrorist groups in Jammu and Kashmir.
Well, I mean, this was on the cards because if others have been arrested by NIA, it was only a matter of time when Salahuddin's son would be picked up. It's happened, and the questioning will now continue, and maybe a lot of other things come out from it.
According to media reports, a non-bailable warrant was pending against Shakil. He was employed as a senior lab technician at a local hospital for the past 30 years. Local media reports said that he has been called for questioning on 3 separate occasions, but he did not turn up to answer the questions regarding the 2011 terror funding case. They said he has been asked to explain the foreign funds, especially those from the UAE, in his accounts.
The NIA has finally arrested Shakil Yusuf, the second son of Syed Salahuddin, who has been declared as a direct terrorist by the international organizations and United States of America also. He has been arrested because of the fact that he has been receiving money from United States and other parts of the world and using that for funding terrorism in the valley. He has been the conduit of this money, which is being transmitted by wire transfers and using other Hawala channels.
Shakil's brother and Salahuddin's other son, Syed Shahid, is already languishing in Tihar jail in Delhi after being arrested in a money laundering case. In another case, the NIA investigations have revealed how a jail officer helped 2 boys gain access to a terrorist kept in a Srinagar central jail. In October 2017, then Deputy Jail Superintendent Feroz Ahmed Lone had helped Suhail Ahmed Bhatt and Danish Ghulam Lone meet terrorist Ishaq Palla, the NIA has found.
There are other 4 people also who have been charge-sheeted in this, out of which some are absconding. Mr. Bhatt is absconding along with others, and they have the red corner alert has been issued by the NIA, and shortly they will also be arrested. So getting hold of these people and getting the money trail and closing the money trail is very important to have a total closure of this funding of militancy in the valley.
Suhail and Danish told the NIA they had gone to meet Palla after Naiko told them Palla could help them cross over to POK for arms training despite being in jail. According to reports, Suhail and Danish lived in Naiko's neighboring village. They told him about wanting to go to POK for arms training. Naiko directed them to Palla and told them to get in touch with him over BlackBerry Messenger. Ishaq Palla was hatching a conspiracy from inside the jail. In this conspiracy, he was actively assisted by Lone. The conspiracy meeting at the Central Prison was held on October 25, 2017, an NIA spokesperson said.
Pakistan has trained terrorists on its soil to carry out attacks against India for years and also brainwashed youngsters to further the damage. However, many plans have been foiled due to the vigil presence of Indian security forces in the valley, and the soldiers stalled another attempt this week. Newsweek South Asia has a report.
This week, 2 militants belonging to terror outfit Hizbul Mujahideen were gunned down in Anantnag district of the state. The terrorists were identified as Altaf Ahmad Dar, top HM commander, and Umar Rashid Wani. According to reports, the Central Reserve Police Force and other security forces received information about the presence of militants in Munwar village of the district. The area was cordoned off, an encounter began, and it ended with recovery of arms and ammunition from the slain terrorists.
I wouldn't say the Hizbul was not that active in the valley of late. In fact, of late, I would say Hizbul was the one which has been suffering more casualties. Hizbul was the one perhaps a little more active. I'm leaving out that phase when they lost a couple of their leaders, and thereafter there was a little bit of a lull in terms of activities of Hizbul, and you found Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jamaat-ud-Dua, Jaish-e-Mohammad more in the lead. But again, Hizbul did come up gradually, and now you see more of casualties.
On the other hand, in Kupwara, the security forces managed to arrest 4 brainwashed youngsters who were new recruits of the terror organization. The arrest came hours after the 4 posed with guns and posted their photos on social networking sites. The four were planning to cross the line of control into Pakistan-occupied Kashmir region to train themselves. The four arrested were Bashir Sheikh from Chotipora in Handwara, Danish Khazer Sheikh and Wasim Ahmed Khan of Chotipora Handwara, and Tahir Habib Bhatt of Khuru. According to the security forces, Al-Badr was the terror group that had recruited the four.
Dawn break of 26 August, security forces, while searching the hoax, overpowered and captured these newly joined terrorists with arms when they cried out. It has been learned that they had recently joined the ranks of Al-Badr Tanzim and were planning to exfiltrate to Pakistan-occupied Kashmir for training with 3 hardcore Al-Badr terrorists.
Kashmir, often called heaven on earth, has been subjected to violence and bloodshed owing to Pakistan's attempt of creating a proxy war in the valley. Places like Baramulla, Shopian and capital Srinagar are places where terrorists from across the border carry out their malicious plans and also brainwash youngsters in the name of religion to carry out more such attacks. New Delhi accuses Islamabad of covertly supporting the long-running separatist insurgency and terrorism since 1989.
The death of Islamic State Khorasan leader Abu Saad Irhabi in an airstrike is a big jolt to Pakistan-backed terrorism in Afghanistan. We have a report.
A leader of the notorious Islamic State, Abu Saad Irhabi, was killed in an airstrike carried out by the Air Forces. The airstrike is said to have killed as many as 10 members of the Islamic State along with their leader, Abu Saad Irhabi, in an operation carried out in the eastern province of Nangarhar, which is very close to neighboring Pakistan. Irhabi is the 4th Afghan leader of the group to be killed in recent years. Other from the Afghan-Pakistan branch, including founding leader Hafiz Saeed Khan, a former Pakistani Taliban commander, and his deputies have been killed in Afghanistan, mostly in US drone attacks. Islamic State fighters are struggling to keep a foothold in the mountain districts of Nangarhar province, where they had set up a local branch of the Caliphate Khorasan. Over the past few years, the Islamic State militants had made significant progress in many parts of Afghanistan. It had become active in Helmand, Zabul, Farah, Logar and Nangarhar. These territories were used to expand their reign of terror in Afghanistan.
ای رهبر گروه داعش در افغانستان در اثر عملیات نیروهای هوایی ابو سعید مرکزی شب گذشته به اثر حملات هوایی کشته میشه با 10 تن از افرادش و 2 مخفیگاه از اینا که در تجهیزات و امکاناتشان هم بود به کلی از بین برده میشه.
The Islamic State Khorasan terrorists have carried out waves of attacks, mainly targeting security forces and the country's Shiite minority. On several occasions, Afghanistan has accused Pakistan of sheltering terrorists who carry out major attacks. However, Pakistan denies allegations of sending militants to Afghanistan. Estimates about IS's numerical strength inside Afghan vary, ranging from 1,000 to 5,000. US General John Nicholson said that 70% of the terrorists came from Pakistan Taliban group, some of whom moved to Afghanistan in North Waziristan, a tribal area, in 2014. But Afghan security officials believe around 80% of the IS militants are Pakistanis.
طبعا در اون سطحی که در گذشته اینا فعالیت داشتن در بخش‌هایی از افغانستان امروز روز به روز کاهش پیدا کرده، اما تلاش ما این است که به کلی بساط از اینا برچیده شود از افغانستان و تمام ریشه از اینا کنده شود تا اینکه ما بتونیم اوساحاتی که از گذشته ها بهتر از زیر تهدیدشان بود مردم ما در یک صلح و امن روی زندگی خود به پیش ببرند.
The killing of dreaded terrorist Irhabi comes as a win for the security forces stationed in the war-torn nation.
Tofail Ahmed, the former BBC journalist and senior fellow at Middle East Media Research Institute, has made startling revelation about Pakistan-based terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammad in his recent article. Newsweek South Asia takes a look.
In his article published in First Post, Tofail Ahmed says, India will mark the 10th anniversary of the Mumbai terror attacks on 26 November. A decade ago, 10 jihadi fighters from Lashkar-e-Toiba (LET), arriving by sea from Pakistan's port city of Karachi, landed on the coast of Mumbai and carried out coordinated terror attacks at multiple locations, killing 166 people and wounding over 300. Tawfil says it appears that now Jaish-e-Mohammad may be planning a seaborne attack of its own against India. Jaish-e-Mohammad is led by Masood Azhars, one of the 3 terrorists freed by India in exchange for the passengers of the Indian Airlines flight IC-814, hijacked en route Kandahar in 1999. For both the LET and the Jaish-e-Mohammad, India is the main target.
So it is expected this time they are also planning, as published in some of the media, they are planning some seaborne attacks on India. Now Jaish-e-Mohammad, which was formed by Masood Azhars, is more powerful. They are thinking India as their one of the first priority enemy, so they will definitely plan attack.
Tawfil writes, citing pieces in Jaish-e-Mohammad weekly newspaper Haftroza Al-Kalam that reports and analyses the importance of jihad on oceans. The first indication that Jaish-e-Mohammad may be thinking of a seaborne mission emerged this year when Haftroza Al-Kalam published in its issue dated 6 to 12 April a short report stressing the ideological importance of jihad on oceans. The report quoted Prophet Muhammad as saying, "Some people from my Ummah, which is the global Islamic community, rode on the oceans as kings sits on a throne." Subsequently, the Jaish-e-Mohammad chief wrote a column on this subject.
As perceived by the security agencies, we should be very, very careful, and we should plan to tackle this threat not only through diplomatic channels but also through military channels. Militarily, we should deploy some forces, early warning sensors, etc., boats in the sea coastline, which is a very, very coastline for us. We have to protect these things because terrorists can sneak in from anywhere in such a long coastline.
Tawfil highlights the column in the Haftroza Al-Kalam in the June 29th to July 5th edition, where Masood Azhars said, "Allah has offered a special blessing for the oceanic jihad. Jihad on water, jihad on sea, jihad riding on the chest of water. This jihad is 10 times more important than the jihad on land," as per the translation of his columns available from the Jihad and Terrorism Threat Monitor of the Middle East Media Research Institute in Washington, D.C.
Basic survival of ISI and the Pakistan military is dependent on anti-India stand. So they will not budge from their stand irrespective of the government, whichever they may come. This time Imran Khan's government has come into power, and it is well known that they have supported this government. Even after not getting absolute majority, they have been installed as a government. So Imran Khan is in no position to control or change the agenda of ISI.
Azhar also stressed that Umar bin Khattab, the second caliph of Islam who ruled from 634 to 644 CE, had issued a binding order to all his governors to ensure that every Muslim will teach their children swimming, archery and horseback riding. A month before this column, a statement of Azhar was shared on Telegram in which he said, "Today, the Mujahideen are in Kashmir, Lucknow, Delhi and Mumbai too." Pakistan's role in promoting Jaish-e-Mohammad cannot be ruled out. Azhar's Urdu newspaper is published and sold openly in the streets of Pakistan. Also, he continues to operate from Usman O Ali Markaz, a mosque-cum training center functioning as the Jaish-e-Mohammad's headquarters in the city of Bhawalpur. Every year, Jaish-e-Mohammad organizes conferences on the interpretation of what it calls jihad verses of the Quran. These conferences are organized by Al-Rahmat Trust, a charity arm of Jaish-e-Mohammad.
When it comes to action, they hardly take any action. In the case of Masood Azhars and others, they hardly produce any evidence in the courts. The government himself does not produce any evidence, and they are given safe havens. They are now building up a big headquarter also near Rawalpur, where the Imran Khan's government is there.
Azhar wrote another column in the Haftroza Al-Kalam issue dated 6 July to 12 July announcing that many individuals have learned swimming. He said, "For the pleasure of Allah, we have started this campaign and as per our resources, we have made some arrangements too. All praise be to Allah. Several individuals have learned how to swim." In this column, the jihad commander also predicted that 1 lakh individuals would have learned swimming before the onset of the winter in December 2018.
We definitely need to avoid these attacks. And how we can avoid all the such attacks in future? We have to fight the proxy war on 3 fronts. Firstly, politically. We have to expose them wherever possible. Even at all the UN conventions and other forums, we have to produce dossiers of the activities of Pakistan and the militants, how they are funded and how they were sent across. Secondly, on the military front, we have to put early warning sensor, be more vigilant on the border and pin them down whenever they enter, not only in the land front but also on the sea coastline, because we got a very, very long coastline which can be infiltrated from anyone.
As the 10th anniversary of the 26/11 approaches, this theme of jihad on oceans have appeared frequently in this Urdu language weekly. In an article in the Haftroza Al-Kalam, July 13 to July 19th edition, jihadi cleric Muhammad Mansoor Ahmad wrote that swimming is useful in natural disasters and added, "Swimming also benefits jihadi training. Because in any war, a need arises to cross a pond, canal, river or sea. This is a natural fact. In today's wars, blockading of seas has a fundamental importance from a defense point of view."
We have to fight them on the social front also. The propaganda war, which they carry out in the name of jihad, in the name of religion, on the social media, WhatsApp and other things. They fuel these sentiments of the youth and motivate them saying the army is doing atrocity. We have to bring out the truth, we have to control these things, do counter propaganda and put the reality in all these media and international press, and we should expose Pakistan as far as possible. Then only we can avoid, we should name them, shame them, then only such attacks will stop. Otherwise Pakistan will keep playing the victim card and also keep sending terrorists also, keep sheltering terrorists also, keep funding terrorists also.
Pakistani Taliban commander Adnan Rashid, a former employee of Pakistani Air Force, revealed in 2013 interview that Jaish-e-Mohammad is a subunit of the ISI, stating that a unit called Idrat-ul-Pakistan was formed inside the Pakistan military to train the jihadis in the army, navy and air force. Rashid, who trained under the Jaish-e-Mohammad while serving in the Pakistan Air Force, said that he was told by his boss, "There is no difference between us and the Jaish-e-Mohammad. We are soldiers in uniform and they are soldiers without uniform," writes Tofel.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We will be back next week with more news, views and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at nwsa@aniin.com. This is Surbhi Sharma signing off on the behalf of entire production team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.